What's going on, guys? It's DigiWatch TCG coming to you with another deck profile. Now, today we're going to have some fun because we are going to be showcasing the Christmas deck. As you can see, I have updated it with some fun little things here and there to make it a little bit more updated in the current meta. Now, to be fully transparent, this is a fun deck. This is no way competitive. This is just a deck to have some fun with, to play with your friends. Maybe you're going to be playing someone on Christmas. Well, this is a deck you would really want to try having some fun with because you can say, I'm playing Christmas. With that said, we're going to go through the deck, and I have made some updates to it after BT7 to see what I would potentially, I guess, change to make it a little bit more competitive, a little bit more meta relevant. Yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so starting things off, we have 4 Digimon. You know what this is. This is the Digimon that you draw one if you have a Guillemon on top. And we are splashing a little bit of purple in this because we are running 2 copies of the EX3 Guillemon. Now, this is a delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less, and if no Digimon is deleted by this effect, both players trash the top 2 cards of their deck. Now, of course, what we're really trying to do is the delete 3000 because it does allow us to get rid of floodgate cards, which sometimes we need if they have a memory floodgate on the field or something that stops you from playing cards out. So this card is a half decent card, and you could always experiment with this in digivolving into like the Guillemon X to delete another 3000. But I just threw it in here because I do like a 3-2 split between the new and the old Guillemons. Speaking of, we are playing 3 copies of the old Guillemon. This is the Guillemon that when attacking you draw 1. In addition to the Digimon, it does get your engine going because you get to draw an extra card. Then we are playing 4 copies of Bokomon, and I think 4 copies is completely fine. This is the white part of the Christmas, so because this allows us to digivolve search the top 5 cards, get 1 Tamer and 1 Hybrid or 10 Warriors in our out of those cards to our hands, and then when one of your Digimon Tamer digivolves on top of a Tamer, gain 2 memory. So basically, you're able to bring out a Hybrid for free. This card obviously is a staple in most hybrid decks, give or take, and it definitely has to be here. Going into our level 4s, we are throwing 4 of the Beetlemon and 4 of the Metal Kabuterimon. It's fun. It's, Digivolve, you get to search, and then if you Digivolve into Metal Kabuterimon, then you actually will be able to suspend one of your opponent's 6000 DP or less. And it's actually not that bad an option to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon because you can attack them the next turn. Now, I do have another card here. Now, I am only throwing 2 copies of Cherrymon over here. So the reason why I'm doing Cherrymon is because it is a Digizorption card, which means you can go into this for basically the same cost as a regular hybrid. Additionally, after you make your attacks, or if you suspend your Digimon or whatnot, you can switch the target to this card if you don't have your pieces available. Or if you don't have your every hybrid ready to go, you at least can possibly stall for 1 more turn. There are obviously some other alternatives you can go into, but this is more of a defensive option. Now, if you're going for more offense, I think Lemortmon, I think that's how you say it, Lemortmon, is a good option as well. The reason why is because making this much more aggressive, you can digivolve right into Lemortmon if you have at least 5 memory, and then suspending one of your opponent's Digimon on Digivolve is really powerful, especially with 9000 DP. Normally for 5 cost, there's only a few Digimon that are actually 9000, and then once per turn, if this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle, you can unsuspend this Digimon. So it does kind of give you that little bit of rush. When attacking, if you don't have a Tamer in play, lose 2 memory. Well, we are playing a bunch of Tamers, which you'll see later. So that should never be a problem. You just have to make sure you have 1 out, at least 2 out, because 1 would be for Digivolving into your level 4, and the other one would be going into Lemortmon. Now, going into, of course, our level 5, we have Rhinomon here. Rhinomon over here is the 1 Digivolving over a Tamer and a Hybrid. You can reduce the cost by 2, making it a 1 cost to Digivolve. In addition, if a card with Hybrid or Insectoid traits in if a card with Hybrid or Insectoid traits is in this Digivolution card sources, this Digimon can Digivolve into a Digimon with Insectoid or 10 Warriors in its traits in your hand for a memory cost of 3. So this is the way the old combo used to go: is you Digivolve on top of Rhino, and then you'd be able to attack your opponent's security, and then or your opponent's Digimon, and then you can Digivolve into the next card here. And I'm using the Event Pack 3 rarity of this card because I actually think that this Event Pack 3 looks much better than the actual rarity of it. But basically, you can Digivolve into this card, and then once per turn, when this deletes a opponent's Digimon in battle, when a Digimon with hybrid or warrior 10 warriors and its traits deletes opponent's Digimon battles and survives, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack, and then on deletion you can play out for level 4 hybrid from your hand without paying the memory cost. It's really good, and also this is a reason why you would potentially play the Flamemon engine in here as well, which is why some people were. It is an option here. I didn't include it in this version of the deck list, but you could put the Flamemon, which plays out, and then you search for your pieces, and then you add them to hand. I just like the ability to gain extra draws and delete floodgates a little bit more right now than the other one, but there are reasons why I would put it in, or cards I could potentially take out. I can even bring this down to 3 and put 1 or 2 Flamemon in my hand. Then we have some options. Now these are of course a little bit some ways of stalling your opponent. Samadhi Santi, I really like this card. I think it's one of the best option cards actually ever made. A little too overpowered in some cases, especially in decks that need to attack multiple times to be able to win their games. But this will be able to suspend their Digimon, and they cannot unsuspend during the next turn. Additionally, it has the security effect of suspending one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. Sometimes that can actually be very helpful if you're like, alright, I'm going to suspend your Tamer, and they can't hybrid you for game, which is still a thing, and then you have the Grand Soul. So if you have 2 or more suspended Digimon in play, you reduce the cost by 2. This is just an easy way of getting rid of a floodgate card, or I don't want to say a floodgate card, but getting rid of a problematic card, such as, let's say you're facing someone and they play a Death X on you. Well, Death X is very hard to get rid of in this version of a deck, and you could just bottom deck it when you had the chance to. So that is something you may want to consider. This is also a good card you can cut if you really wanted to make room for those cards I was talking about before. You can take out the Grand Soul and put in the Flamemon. Then we are throwing 3 copies of Green Memory Boost. This is because we want consistency, we want to see our pieces, and most of the time, to really go all the way, we need to go, even though we do get reduced costs with some cards, we do want enough memory to be able to do our full combo. Then we have 4 copies of Atomic Inferno, probably the most important card in this deck, and the reason why you call it Christmas is because you are getting so many presents when you play this card. One of your Digimon gets 3,000 plus 1 security check, and then your turn, when this card is blocked, gain 3 memory for the turn. So if they try to block it because maybe you didn't have the ability to suspend, or maybe you're playing a Chessmon deck against a Chessmon deck and they have multiple blockers, this is one way of being able to make sure that your turn doesn't pass. And sometimes it's just a very powerful card. So this card also has the security effect of all your Digimon gain plus 1 security until the end of the next turn. This card is just also really powerful, and I'm actually very I'm not going to say concerned. I'm very worried about this card in BT12 when we do get the red hybrid support, because this card is going to make those decks much more powerful. But when we talk about it in this deck, this card really puts pressure on your opponent, because this deck does like to swing. So you can go into Guillemon, attack, do 1 damage to your opponent's security. That's 4 cards left in the security. And then let's say you have enough memory to do this, you can Digivolve into Beetlemon, into your Lamortmon if you really wanted to, or your Rhino Kabuterimon to go into Ancient Beelmon. And you can go into using the option card, like I just mentioned, to give it a +1 security, and then this attacks, and then it attacks for 16,000, basically being able to delete anything. And then if it is able to delete one of your opponent's Digimon, and then they have to trash the top card, it then hits for 2 more checks after that, depending on how many more you have in hand. So it is a very powerful combo, easily getting your opponent down to 1 to 2 security left. More likely 1, and because Yellow Hybrid isn't a huge thing anymore, Even though like yeah the new Venusmon and stuff, but this is a once per turn. This is not a when attacking effect. This is a the ancient Beelmon I'm talking about right now. This is a once per turn effect. Even if it gets a -1 security, you can still trash the top card of their deck. Um, okay, what else do we have here? A few more tamers we're going to talk about, and of course some things that you can always switch out. And then we were running 3 Mimis. Mimi is how you sort of keep it your turn, get another stack ready, kind of getting to rush your opponent. And when you have a level 5 or higher Digimon, you can hatch 1 egg or move 1 level 3 Digimon from your breeding area to your battle area. So easily can go into another Guillamon, and then Guillamon attacks again and does another damage if you really need to do it. Or you can just use this for like essentially an extra hybrid for game, being able to Digivolve in your raising area into a Guillamon and promoting out the same turn. I am running 2 copies of Izzy and Mimi because a lot of the times, if your opponent is able to keep a Digimon on their field, sometimes you can just keep them suspended so that you can gain the extra memory for your next turn. And then when you attack with a level 5 green Digimon, you can suspend this Digimon to reveal the top 3 cards of your deck and Digivolve 1 green level 6 Digimon card among them onto the attacking Digimon without paying the memory cost. It does take some luck to do, but sometimes it does work out, especially because our only level 6 is the Ancient Beetlemon, which means that we can just go easily into it, not only if we don't have it in our hand, but also if we actually just need to swing and try to Digivolve into it. We could also keep in mind also play other decks, like we can go into a Bloom Lord, we can go into a Hydra. If that was the case, you could always throw in 1 or 2 copies of those cards, but I feel like playing the 4 copies of Ancient Beetlemon is most consistent. And then we have, of course, JP. You play this card. It doesn't really have an on-play effect, but when you Digivolve onto it, you reduce the cost by 1. So instead of a 2-cost Digimon, this is actually a 1-cost Digimon. And then it gives it Piercing, which is also very, very good, of course. And then our last tamer over here is Mimi and Joe. This was more of a testing card I was thinking about because, again, if you have a suspended Digimon play, which most of the time you're ending your turn by Digivolving into your level 6 or playing another card out, and if it does pass to your opponent's turn, then you're going to start with a suspended Digimon, which means you at least start with 1 extra memory. And then if your opponent tries to clear your cards out or swings in your security, they will have a suspended Digimon, so it's not that hard to actually gain extra memory from that. And then when one of your Digimon, green or blue, deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, you draw 1, which of course speeds up this engine a little bit more. Of course, this would be a card you want to consider maybe taking out for putting other stuff in. I mean, if you really want to, you can always cut this down and then put in the Flame Digimons and stuff like that in there. But I thought this was just a fun video to make today. I know this is not the traditional build either, for those of you who are like, oh, that's not how you build the deck. It was just more of a fun deck that how I would probably build it as of right now. With the things I kind of mentioned, maybe I'll throw in like 1 or 2 Flamemon to be able to play off of Ancient Beetlemon, or anything like that. So anyway, though, yeah, 1 level 4 card hybrid in its traits. So sorry, I apologize. Just one small correction. 1 green level 4 or lower Digimon can be played from the Ancient Beetlemon, not Flamemon, which I misread. I don't know if there is an errata for that. I know that when I was playing, maybe people didn't read that either because they definitely were playing Flamemon from that effect. Just some humor. But yeah, anyway, though, I enjoyed making this video. I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year. Anyway, have a great one and take care.